Welcome to the Heart of the Matter podcast, where we have open and honest conversations about life and relationships. Now, you can't come out here with a sweater on, sweatshirt on, corduroys, or Timberlands, because we all naked today, baby.
Indeed.
Yeah, so what we say is, you don't necessarily get praise for your successes. We're not mad at that, but we give you kudos for your vulnerability about your challenges and your failures. I'm your boy, Christopher Dockery, relationship and life coach. And to my right, I had a partner in crime, Pookie. What's up, man?
What's happening, man? Hey, we back at it. We
like
are
that
back
sweatshirt,
at it.
man.
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, we doing things over here.
Yeah, you and my guest our guest got together and behind my back.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
coordinated. So
We did.
I don't like it, but it's okay. So we had to bring him back.
Yes, sir.
Okay. His story, a lot of moments, female pastors driving 250 miles an hour. What would Jesus do? So some of y'all know by now who I'm talking about. So give a round of applause for Chad.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Chad.
What's up, my brother from another mother? How you doing, man?
Doing really well.
Okay.
And obviously terribly excited again.
So, Chad. So, Pooh.
Yes, sir.
You're not included in this. Chad and I and my beautiful wife, we're going to the Ohio State game tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Chad, so gracious enough. Okay. Hey, Doc, you want to go to the what? Do I want to go to Ohio State game? Right?
Yeah.
So, but you bailed on us.
I didn't bail. I was really, really hoping that it was not going to be something. My time was blocked off. The missus said, "Hey, keep this time open."
You was sick, y'all.
I was. Reed calls, "Hey, what you got to do?"
You
And
just
I looked
celebrated a birthday, by the way.
Yeah, I did.
Happy
And she was like,
birthday.
"For your birthday, we're gonna celebrate the weekend after." I said, "All right, cool."
Yeah.
So Reed calls, "Hey, what you got to do on this Saturday?" I'm like, "Dang, it say blocked off," but I'm hoping it's a dinner. I'm hoping it's something that we can move around.
No. I don't care what it is. If the Ohio State game is going,
Yeah,
it's not as important, right?
Yeah. So I was like, dude, I can't do it. And found out,
God has something else for you.
Yeah, the other day, she got me tickets to go
To see your favorite team, the Cowboys.
No, the 49ers versus the Cowgirls. So, yeah.
Nah, it's dope. Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I do appreciate the invite, Chad, because that was wonderful. I would love to have been there, definitely.
Yeah. Chad's not human, man. He's not of this planet. His heart, I think, Chad, I think your heart should be encased in a museum so we can just look at it,
It's a model thing, man.
Yeah. No. You look like the young, sexy GQ version of Santa Claus. You remember like when we was growing up, like they had the little puppet Santa Clauses.
Oh, okay.
And he was a younger fly with the red beard.
I got you.
No, you got the. It's there, man.
That's
like,
a great
you
swag.
can do it. Chad don't know how to take that. He's like,
It definitely makes the guy question a little bit.
you use sexy and Santa Claus all in the same sentence. It's confusing. Anyway, listen, before we get into this, please make sure you subscribe. If you like the vulnerability, if you like the transparency that we as men are giving, hey, please follow us. Helps us out a lot. So, let's get into this thing. So, okay. I had a friend of mine who sent me a video.
Okay.
And this video was basically saying, it was a guy, and he said, listen, some people, whether it's men or women, they've never experienced genuine love in relationships.
Okay.
And so as a result, when you show up and you try to love them, it can be a challenge because they're not used to it. Okay. Yeah. And so the guy was basically saying that he believes it is for some people like their assignment to love people through things, like you're assigned to that person in a way. Okay. Like you've been graced to do it. And I thought that was dope from a conversation standpoint, because I believe I got some good hearts here to talk about it. What say you? Do you believe that it is possible that there are some people who are in transition They're not there. They're not in heaven yet. They may be in purgatory, where it is a person's, I don't know if I say responsibility, but they've been assigned to love that person to their healing. Whoever wants to jump on it.
I'm going to think for just a second.
Yeah, Pook. Okay.
For me, no.
Yeah, he's never quiet.
Absolutely.
He's always got something crazy.
Nah, in transition, no. Now, if we're married and through good and bad, rich or poor, I think that would apply to say there's going to be seasons in my life, in our life, that will require me to give more to help them through that season, right?
Okay.
Meaning I'm not bailing because it's tough.
Okay.
But to love them to health, no.
Okay.
I believe a person has to love enough of them to want to get help in order to be at a place to where they can receive that love and build up. But I can't. I've stayed long and been around through situations that you can want it so bad for somebody else, but they never, ever get there because they don't take the application themselves to start doing anything. But loving them to health, nah, I don't. Not when we're not married. That's not.
Okay.
I don't think it's a feasible application.
All right. Chad, you got something for us?
Not a ton, but I see that very much in the same light. There's always seasons of you have to love 80 because they're only able to love 20 at that time, right? And vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not 50-50 all the time. It's not 100-100. I mean, you know, there's always that. So it's moving. So, yeah, you do have to be able to pick up your person's whatever they're going through in that season, and do love them through that, but not love them to heal them.
Right.
That's not. It can't be a job.
Yeah, it cannot.
I mean, that's an unhealthy burden that you put on yourself and place onto somebody else.
Yeah.
That's why you kind of call a professional.
Yeah, exactly. Because I don't think it shouldn't be an expectation that I expect this person to love me back to health.
Mm-hmm.
That's hard.
Yeah.
For someone else, right?
But we've seen people do it. Like I've seen plenty of men, women feel like because this word I hear a lot, potential.
Mm-hmm.
They got so much, and I can see the good in them. Now they may be good and broken,
Right.
but I can see that. And when you see that in a person, there can be something in you that wants to just help them get over that hump. But what is the baseline? Like, what's that bottom, number? Like, you need to at least be here.
Right.
In order for me to sign up for that. Like, do you know, Pook, what that would be for you? Like, you have to be here for me to even say yes. I'm willing to help you get to whatever that next level is.
I think we have probably already had agreed that we're at a 5 or 6 to even
out of 10. Okay.
Yeah, for us to be like, no, we
got
got
healing wise.
Right.
Okay.
We're already on our way, right? We're there, right? And this may be a hiccup. But if it's in an area of, for example, say if my significant other has daddy issues.
Yeah.
I can't love her through that.
Mm.
You feel what I'm saying? Like because I can never be her dad.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if it's an expectation for me to love you through daddy issues, so we got to sign you up for a professional.
Okay.
Because that's healing that has to happen inside of you. Now I could be patient enough maybe, but to have the expectation to say, love you until you're healed, I just don't. Now, if she's projecting her daddy issues on me, and I think I can't do anything about that. How do I heal that?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not even I'm not even in a space to be like, listen, you're expecting me to be something that I'm clearly not your dad. So if you're projecting these things on me, then you're already in the wrong area because where it should be at, you're directing it in the wrong place.
Mm-hmm.
So I will have to be in a place where I am already can identify, hey, babe, listen, I hear you. I want to help you get to that space, right? But we have to be able to take it from here to get some help. I can't do it.
Go ahead.
and it's hard to be patient through that too.
Oh, absolutely.
So it's
Especially
not just,
yeah.
I mean, okay, it kind of goes back to that, what we talked about the powerless on the last one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Powerless and helpless, because as guys, we want to be there to fix,
Yeah,
and help in any way we can, right?
Right.
So it's hard to have the patience to go through that.
Yeah.
Especially because, again, we're talking about the expectations of something, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And so, that's something that's happened to me in the past, and, I obviously had to learn a big lesson on that one, but it's still, I mean, that's something that love is one thing, and patience is another thing that's love as a form of the love, but there's still that's just you're putting yourself in an impossible situation.
It is, and especially like if you come from a situation to where you're saying things happen very, very bad in your last relationship, things happen very bad, mine. If I'm not healed or in a space to be healing or on the up, then I don't have a standard set up.
There you go.
You know what I mean? To even be like, nah, I should be able to start dating and see that in the beginning to say, there's some things going on right there that I know I'm not going to be comfortable
red flag.
Yeah, trying to take on that in order to be like, okay, everything else is good, but let me take on. I don't think for me that standard is like I can't do it because that's going to be an expectation I'm just not willing to go through.
And how long? This is a good question. With that, say I sign up for it. Okay, I think they're at a level that's acceptable to me. They're 5 or higher.
Okay,
but and let's just say I'm 9.
Mm-hmm.
How long do I wait to see progress? How long do I wait before I see you go from 5 to 6, 6 to 7? What's acceptable? Because if you ain't moving,
if you're not moving,
and I've seen a lot of situations where they wasn't moving. We talked about them here on the podcast. So, and for both of you, what does that look like timeline wise?
I don't know if there is a specific time. Now, I would say if we're dating and we identify you do have some of these issues, like, hey, babe, to me, that's an issue you're projecting on me.
Yeah.
And she says, you know what? You may be right. Now, that may be a month of conversations, right, for us to go back and forth with dialogue. Now, what's the next step? If we identify this as a problem and you're sitting on this and not doing anything, then I have to bring it up to you. Hey, this is happening again. What are we going to do about it? So if it's another 60 days go by and that person is just, we're sitting here not doing anything, then now it's up to me to make a decision. Like, hey, either we can start addressing this or I can't deal with it. It's not a 90, 120 days. Like, we can start moving the whole year and there hasn't been anything to start giving progress or giving attention to this thing so we can start the process. So I think it's really on that person and the person that's like saying, I know what I can't deal with.
But that's big boy status. If you saying you emotionally into this person.
Oh yeah.
And you gonna say, all right, it ain't growing, and you got the maturity to cut it.
Yeah.
That's big boy status.
That's huge status.
How many people doing that?
It ain't a lot of people doing it, but that's the reason why there's a lot of hiccups in relationships. It's not a lot of happy relationships, right? Because that is not going anywhere. That is not about to leave at all. So where do we, at some point, it's going to compromise our happiness. It's going to compromise how we dialogue with one another. It's going to compromise our living. So if we're trying to head here and we're steadily stifled here, it's like either have the conversation and say, I can't force you, but I just can't deal with it anymore. Or continue to have this up and down happiness based off of the situation we see.
Next question. Has divorce, this is both of you, has divorce made you bitter or better?
You can go, Chad.
I was going to say, maybe just completely honest, a little bit of bitter, but I would definitely have to say it's been a lot of better because I've had to.
What's the ratio?
We'll say on a scale of 1 to 10, 2 out of 10 on the bitter, 8 out of 10 on the better.
Mm.
Okay. Why the bitter?
Just because I don't ever want to have to go through that crap ever again.
Okay. The trauma of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And why the better?
Because I can look at myself and go, hey, I reached out for help. I'm taking the right steps for myself.
Real talk.
Yeah, that's good.
That's why I can say, and again, at scale from 8 to 10, that's only a B student, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm not going to give myself an A just because I want to.
Right.
But a B student, that's
You passing.
Yeah.
You really got a
Get you
good,
college.
good grade. Yeah.
Get you in college.
Get you a
huh?
degree.
See, succeed, right?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly.
See your way out.
Yeah, I would say it was probably, now where I'm at, it's 80-20, probably similar to Chad. It's not a bitter. It's I recognize what I knew in the beginning, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I tell anybody through the divorces.
Don't lie to the people because you were bitter.
No.
I mean, just up into. No, I'm just saying because I know you a lot. No. But I'm just saying that up until coming out of that last one.
Oh no! It wasn't bitter.
You smell like bitter.
It wasn't bitter.
We had conversations.
It was me just being pissed at.
Okay.
That you know what I mean. Like bitter to me is like, you know what, being pissed at. Now I still have my opinions based off the court systems. Yeah. That ain't going nowhere.
You were so bitter, you said, I'm never getting married again.
Oh, absolutely.
Ever in life. I'm never going through this.
I'm never doing that again.
Yeah. And I said, you a lie, and the truth is not in you.
Yeah, so that is true. All of that is true. So, but going through it, though, is really where I found that, I could go through it, start seeking more help, start identifying triggers, start getting standards for myself, and really understand what I have expectations for. But not, if I didn't go through that stuff, then I still, to me, would probably be in that same spot. But now I can receive love. I can have love. I can enjoy where I am now, and the feeling of knowing you don't have to stay in something to think you're going to get better, and knowing you had these issues before you got married. So I love where I am now.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I will say, both of you, y'all had the wherewithal to go talk to somebody, counseling, to figure out, okay, what happened? What did I do?
Mm-hmm.
And obviously that was helpful. Now, so as both of you are coming out of those situations, because I was, privy to it, seeing this more healed version, but I think both of you came out still a little different. Chad seemed more open. I want to see kind of what's out here. I'm not at all against finding my person. Pook was like, hell to the no, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not at all thinking about, So the fact that you're like a whole engaged person right now with a whole entire fiance, and you like are over the top happy about it, did she, going back to like that, can your person heal you or what? Did she heal something in you?
Oh, no. She didn't heal anything in me. It was, I think my standard of what I saw and what I allowed to go through in my other relationships, I knew I wasn't accepting that, because each one, I'm like, it'll get better. Or I was feeling like my own version of the healing. Mm-hmm. I know they have this problem. I know I have a problem with what I see and what's going on. I can be patient enough, love them enough, da-da-da-da-da-da. Never worked. You know what I mean? Never worked. So, no, Kim didn't come in and have to heal me of anything. She definitely, being who she is, made what I always wanted, I can accept now. I'm like, man, she's this person.
Mm-hmm.
She's a wonderful human being. So with her being a wonderful human being, she fit me in ways that I always thought it should happen. So no, she didn't. I wouldn't have wanted her to try to heal me either. No, I wouldn't want to put that on her. Because to me, that's an expectation to be patient enough. I went through all this. You know what I mean? It's like, why put that on her to say, well, I've been hurt. I've been damaged.
Yeah.
So be patient more. If I get worked up and get upset because you have things that's triggering me.
Right.
It's like, nah.
Devil made me do it.
Well,
right.
That's the thing. We've part of the growth and the things that you've seen is just becoming self-aware enough of knowing what the triggers are.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And, bringing stuff up from past, that can be a trigger.
Absolutely.
But here we are sitting here having a jovial conversation about it.
Yeah.
That we're like, okay, that's a trigger.
Yeah.
Or it was once.
It was.
But we're not upset about it right now. We're just like, okay, thank God I learned from something.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I can see my growth from that.
Yeah.
I'm making plenty of new mistakes, I promise. I'm good at that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm human, but at the same time, there's not that hook. So,
do you feel like you have you develop better standards, or they're more of the same that you just become comfortable with?
Better and standards that I didn't know were there.
Okay.
So it opened my eyes to a different world. So I can't say that because, again, trying to compare, I think the commonality would be that there have been females involved. Mm-hmm. That's the commonality that I could make the comparison to.
Okay.
Other than that, it's different world.
Got you.
Now there's a whole new set of challenges with that world too.
Right.
But the standards they're higher.
Okay.
But I really didn't know that they were all there.
Okay.
Just because I hadn't really seen that.
So when you have your standards that you set up, right, is can you if they're not met, now how do we handle that with your standards? Or do you accept them and keep going because Chad's a loving, patient, kind person and his heart is so big that he's like, you know what? I know what my standards are. I can identify them, but since I know what they are, do I have the same amount of patience, or how do I handle?
Yeah, I think that's something that I will continue to have to grow into.
Okay.
Is the patience, because it's not like a godly love that's never ending, right? And if you try to put yourself into a eternal patient mode, then you're also setting yourself up for failure.
Absolutely.
So yeah, but that's a personal level of growth that I have to continue to go to, and that's
Gotcha.
on my end.
Okay, got you.
So for both of you who are in new situations, so I'm sure there are challenges, not at all like whatever the hell you came out of, but there are still, we're imperfect, right?
Right.
What would y'all say is the newer challenges that, because, people can, hear your story and be like, oh man, it's, happily ever after, rosebuds, and, but in a practical sense, what are the new challenges that both of you feel like you have to overcome now?
I think in the beginning, for me, maybe a year ago, since it was newer, right? It was still not waiting for that shoe to drop. You know what I mean? Because it's like, wait a minute. It feels great, right?
Too good to be true?
It feels good. It feels good. I mean, we know, like I know, that feeling's going to go someplace else. That feeling ain't going to stay. And if it does stay a little too long, you're like, wait a minute now. Is this real? You know what I mean? So it's
absolutely
your mind is playing with you to say, something.
I'm waiting for it.
Yeah, something, and then it's like, if something almost, it's like, nah, that ain't it either. You're almost waiting, right? So that getting used to it, this being your norm. It doesn't have to be that bad. It ain't got to be a big knockout, drag out situation. So to me, that took some getting used to, because I wasn't. My norm was toxic. My norm was not. It felt like, okay, how long can we go with it not being blowing up, with it not being, you know what I mean, knocking heads.
You just
so
waiting on the next.
you know what I mean, and then
World War III.
Okay, how many times I got to apologize? You know what I'm saying? So it's like when they come and they apologize, you're like, wait,
what do you want?
What you want? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you're not used to it. So,
but in addition to that, it's the real apology. It's not the I'm sorry for how I could have made you feel, or
exactly
manipulative, apology.
That's not an apology.
No, it's not at all.
Hey, I was being an ass.
Yeah.
I needed to say some things because I just wanted to vent because I was pissed.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry for that. And I know it hurt your feelings because you didn't deserve that.
That's
an apology.
It is.
That right there. That feels
No, it feels authentic, right?
Yeah, if you ain't used to it,
not at all.
Somebody taking ownership of it. You know what I mean?
You know what? The first time I heard it took me, like, I almost wanted to, like, sit back and cry. Right? It was like it was one of those, like, you know what? I need to apologize to you because I think I may have said something inappropriate in an inappropriate way that may have hurt your feelings. And I'm thinking, it didn't.
Yeah.
But as it recalled, it's like, I never want to do that. Wow. And I was like, okay.
You start grabbing your shirt.
Like, yeah, because it's like, I see that on movies. You don't experience that. So to me, where I've come from, it's like, that's not a norm. A person is not even taking that much thought to not want to offend you, to not want to upset you. So, I mean, it may sound crazy, but that takes some getting used to. Creating that norm is like, okay, this is who they are. They're not putting on this facade for me to try to fake me out and da-da-da-da-da-da. So that takes some getting used to, you know what I mean? Yeah. So
what would you say challenges are?
Still going through the journey of, you know, as you find somebody that just really rocks your world, and you're talking about the shoe to drop, then it's the other thing too is because you're being more vulnerable, because now you have a connection that's like, whoa, wow, this is something. So you're being more vulnerable. Well, inside of that, it's a little bit scary sometimes, because then at some point you're going to hit somebody's trigger that we don't even know about all the time, right?
Right.
And I've got them. I know everybody else has their own triggers.
Right.
So it's just it's going through that process of, as you're wanting to continue to grow and deeper connection, but then you gotta, and it's not waiting for the shoe to drop, but maybe a little bit, because you know at some point you're gonna piss somebody off, because you're gonna flip a trigger.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So it's not walking on eggshells, but at the same time that's just part of just getting to know people better and grow with them and just live life. Because again, we're imperfect people trying to love people perfectly. That's never gonna happen.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Right. Yeah.
now you said. Great point. Sometimes you're going to hit the triggers that you don't know where they are, the landmines, but you'll hit them. So the triggers for both of you, what does it look like when you hit a trigger? Is it take cover, hide your women and children because the volcano's about to blow off? Or is it just like, how on the 4th of July, you light the thing and it goes...
Yeah.
Which
mine are big. I mean, I get the great big ones that.
Oh, okay.
Shake the houses. I blew a hole in the
you that guy.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's like 6 inches deep and it's big around. And
okay.
I'm that guy, so I don't get the ones that just go.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. So is that what the trigger looks like when it's hit? You got a hole in your front yard. You got a sinkhole out here, Chad.
Has there been? Yeah.
Okay.
Just being honest.
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
Poop. What's the trigger look like?
No. See, for me, that has taken some getting used to also, cause like I told, you would know this, but like I tell my other best friend, right? To date, it hasn't. We've had discussions before I would have arguments.
Yeah, no doubt.
Arguments, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
right.
arguments felt like it is intense and things are, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's going back and forth. And I'm like, because I don't agree with you doesn't mean we got to have this big drag out fight, right?
Healthy discourse versus
Right.
just.
It's like somebody doesn't feel like they have to win.
Mm-hmm.
So because there's not a lot of that going on, it's more of, okay, that's fine. We can talk about this when we both da-da-da-da-da-da, and then we carry on.
And so is there an attitude? Okay, so maybe there's no explosion, but is there an attitude of, I ain't talking to you? Or, she's, maybe just a little off, and you gotta, babe, are you cool? Because sometimes it might not be the explosion, but it can go the opposite direction.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, not. I'll be honest, man. When I say I've been blessed, it's not. We don't argue. Now we have disagreements. We don't argue.
Yeah.
It's never been a time to where I'm leaving the house. She has, you know what I mean? Where it's so like, I just need some air.
Mm-hmm.
It's never been that. It's never been so much tension. She's sitting all the way over there. I'm sitting all the way over. It's not that at all.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, this is what I mean by the person that I wanted. Like, we can still love each other and know, like, I still love you. I just don't agree with what's going on right now. And how do we get to a common ground, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, it's not, we haven't, I don't know, we haven't been a day without talking to each other. Haven't went hours without talking. It ain't, in case she's at work.
Yeah.
It's
she
not.
likes to talk to you.
Yeah, every day.
Yeah.
All day. Yeah. Several times throughout the day.
So let me ask y'all this. Do you believe that a healthy man or woman can be a trigger to a hurt man or woman?
A trigger.
If you need me to explain.
Yeah, go ahead. Give me an example of what you're talking about.
It's a little bit of what you said. It's too good to be true. So because I'm so used to trauma, your healthiness, your normalcy is too good to be true. So either if I'm a guarded person, I may sabotage it. I know it's coming.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going, because your healthiness and your love is so uncomfortable to me.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm still in my unhealthy state, I can feel like it's just a matter of time before they see who I really am,
Yep.
And so before they do it, let me, subconsciously do something to just destroy the whole thing.
Yeah.
So sometimes that healthy person can trigger that fear.
Yeah. The fear, yeah, for sure. I think that's possible.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, have y'all experienced that?
I have not.
Well, and I'll put it this way. You were trying to love somebody who was maybe good but broken.
Mm-hmm.
And in your trying to love them, the healthy behavior was triggering.
Yeah, I think at times they would call it because I've heard this, because I'm a emotional person, or because I raise my voice,
Mm-hmm.
then and you don't,
Mm-hmm.
doesn't make me less than you, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, it doesn't make you less, but we're not getting anywhere about you raising.
They were raising their voice,
right?
Oh, and they saying because their communication style is to get amped up, and yours isn't.
Yeah.
They're saying, "I don't think you better than me just because your tone is right here."
Right, and I'm like, nah, it's just not conducive to getting anything done. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So, yeah, I've seen that just because.
So your calmness was triggering.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What about you?
Yeah.
You done?
No, I was gonna say now once I got to that level, then it's like now, okay, now it felt like, all right, now you meeting energy with energy. And
how did they respond to that once you got going?
Yeah, it would be the opposite. They know how to. They'll be there for a while, but yeah, see, I know,
So that's called
it's almost like they're just making sure because if you stick too calm for too long, it's almost like you don't care.
Right.
And then you show up and then it's like, oh, so there's a little bit of that test.
Yeah. Now you do care.
Yeah,
you're showing
I
you care
I can
now.
tell you care now.
Yeah. Exactly. Yep.
And that's still coming from that unhealthy programming, because if that person grew up in that environment where in our household we yelled at each other or we were screaming, and so it's like I just interpreted that as love.
Right.
If you love me, you got to yell at me, cuss me out or something. Yep. And then I meet you and you calm and laid back, and it's like,
yep,
you don't love me, so now I got to poke you.
Right,
come on.
Yeah,
I got to get the reactive abuse. Yep. And then once you take me out of my character, you're now I'm, I'm over here tweaking,
right.
because it's not my normal MO. Okay. Would you say that, okay, so in relationships, when we're trying to find our person, we're trying to determine if this person is right for us, how do you vet them? What's your process for vetting them to say they check these boxes, and that for me is going to let me know they're in a healthier space? Or do y'all have boxes that needed to be checked?
I looked at it from kind of what we talked about is, first of all, you don't have to know everybody's backstory all up front, like, because that gets weird too quick. It's not a job interview. I mean, I guess technically it kind of is in a way, but you don't need to go into guns a-blazing you got to, I'm going to ask you all these questions.
Mm-hmm.
I just watched the movie The Ugly Truth the other night, and her first date, she brought a
list of questions, interview.
Her,
yeah.
It was like, oh my goodness. So yeah, that's a big no on I guess protocol and how to approach it. But I think the big thing is, number one, have you been in counseling before? Are you continuing?
Yeah.
Because life always going to throw us curves, and we're going to deal with challenges, get emotionally drained. You're trying to fill a cup that it might have a crack in it.
Absolutely.
That you're not realizing that there is that crack, and man, you're pouring out faster than their cup's filling up, and by the time you're empty. So that's why you have to always have that person in your arsenal that you can talk to.
Yeah.
And process that stuff, and always just do like a health, a checkup, right? So I think that's probably the big box for me. That I know I can put up with a lot of stuff and be very patient as long as I know that person's actually actively working on that.
Oh, okay.
So I think that is definitely, I guess we'll have to go back a little bit on standards. That would be a big standard for me. I mean, to like really, if I could put the screws down to one thing, as long as you're actively working on it to get better or do better, man, sky's the limit on that. So,
okay,
I think that would be mine.
Okay, I think, excuse me, for me, recognition, like a person realizing where they are, right, and to say, like you said, that nobody's perfect. If I understand these are my triggers, if I understand, if she understands, like, hey, I don't do this because of this. I make sure I'm doing this because I don't, you know what I mean? To me, they recognize what they stand, what they need in order for them to grow and be loving.
And you say we're just talking about people in general and trying to being in a relationship.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like when I've dated and I talk to people and they wouldn't know, what a standard was. And we get to talk about standards. They get to talking about superficial things like, well, I want a guy that's 6 foot, or I want this, or I want, this is, but that has nothing to do with, you know what I mean?
Right.
So, so I think the vetting process, the more I start learning the love languages and the more I start learning what I need, the more I start learning what I can deal with, started to help me to develop a standard of what I can deal with and what I wanted from somebody else, right? Because you just don't want to sign up for anybody.
No.
You know what I mean? So for me, I knew going into it, I'm like, hey, I don't need anybody that's gonna shut down on me and give me a lot of attitude and then try to manipulate me like it's my fault. You know what I mean? Like once I seen any signs of that, I don't care how much I like this person, I'm out. Like I got, I'm done. You know what I mean? Because it's like that's an inner thing that I can't change.
Right.
And if that's how you are, then it may be cool for you with somebody else, but not for me. I'm more of we could talk, lay back, we fun. We're gonna have some spats to go on, right? But I don't need the person that's like challenging me and walking up on me and have to get in my face. And
when people just say they're passionate though, like say playing devil's advocate, right? Say there's certain ethnicities. Passion is that goes along with that. There's certain location, New York, there's a more aggressive way of communicating. So how do you distinguish between this is not them challenging you versus this is just the culture that they grew up in?
It could be the culture. That person just don't fit.
No, you say you don't care what. If that's your culture, it's a no for me.
Because to me, yelling is yelling, right?
Okay.
And if you
start tweaking,
it's like, come on, man, why you gotta yell? Like, it's the setting for it. But if I'm more attracted to a person that don't know I'm digging them, but then they talking to the staff or they're talking to a waitress and they're treating them in a way of like through conflict. They ain't the person like, oh, no, you want me to stand up. You now what? Now go get the man. It's like, why you gotta? It's you can get the same result by saying, I really didn't like my service. I really didn't like what's going on. Is there somebody else I could talk to? Same point got across, but why do you have to be on 10 in order to try to get this result? I don't care who it is. I don't want to deal with that type of individual because it's just a matter of time
before it's in your face.
And then they're like, well, you knew I was like this before. And you're right, I did. But I don't need that aggressiveness coming my way at any point.
One of my clients said, if they'll do it with you, they'll do it to you.
Facts.
I was like, that was so rich. Shout out, Elise.
Facts. 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 I definitely agree.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Let me ask you this. What's the moment you realized, the person you're with now, what's the moment you realized you were in love? I've fallen as if I've tripped over my foot and I'm in love.
Front door got kicked down, right?
Yeah. For sure.
What about you?
Man.
I got some tissue over here too somewhere if y'all need it.
You talked about somebody speaking your love languages. I think that really, and without even really knowing all the love languages, right? Because I think people can have more than just one or two.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
We can have
5.
So they speak differently in how it's done, but like when those really started getting just like ding, 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 and it was like, holy smokes.
Was that a day in time? Was that a significant moment when you was like, oh my God, I love her?
I can't say it was I had
or that kind of just
that
revelation.
light switch that it was at 3:17 p.m. on day such and such. I can't, but it was just this consistent, I cannot get this person out of my mind in a good way.
Yeah.
It was, and it's not like an infatuated feeling.
Yeah.
It was just like you felt I was seen. I was heard. And that those love languages were what was showing me that. And I know that sounds weird, but trying to describe the feeling of being in love with somebody, that's hard for me.
Yeah.
But that's kind of what clued me in to where I was like, man, I'm crazy about this human being. I mean, and it just was like, wow. That was a spark.
Yeah.
Talk about that big explosion, that sent up on 4th of July. That's what it was.
Had you ever felt that before?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
30-something-year-old man had never felt that particular feeling.
No.
Okay. Yeah.
No.
All right.
Yeah, don't worry, Chad. It was 40-something, and I never. When I say never, like normally, my youngest daughter told me she has some of this also. I can get tired of a person quick, like
they get on your nerves.
Yeah, because it's something. Again, my past has been something I identified I didn't like, right, about them that I chose to want to deal with, but it would keep surfacing. So, of course, it's surfacing while I'm like, you know what? Let me go ahead and I'm going to be around for a while, but it's moments. You know what I mean? So when the moment I met Kim, we stayed on the phone. She talked to me the whole time I had to go and drive like to Kentucky to do this gig. It was just great conversation. And afterwards, talked to me on the way home. Since then, we have never talked. So it's been every day. Every day. And it never, I knew I was in love when it's like, hey, don't feel like I've been knowing you that long. It don't feel like I have not,
gotten tired of you.
I ain't got tired of you.
Yeah.
And then when I'm like, it always felt good. I never imagined like it would be another human that loves me the way I feel like I wanted to love somebody else. So she gives me that love. And to sit and see somebody and be like, no, I know she loves me. I haven't had that. I had a person that, they like you, but they demonstrate how they love you. They're doing the things, it's like, they're not trying to get on my nerves. They're really like, listen, you have no reason to push me away. I'm here. I'm here. And we're going to work on this together, and I got you. And never to throw anything, like not one time has she been like, well, you don't know anything. You've been married a few times. Hasn't been any of that. Hasn't been calling out wrongdoings. None of that. So it's like the demonstration and the activity that goes on. It don't feel like we've been talking to each other every day. It don't feel like we've been around each other all the time. It's like, nah, I really love her.
But now, was there a moment when it because like we said, you were coming out of a space where I'm not at all looking for anything serious. Like, if something happened, but I'm not trying to get married again and all that. So was there a moment when you said, nah, man, I love her for real?
The moment was when I was like, this is my wife. That was the moment.
When was that?
That was probably, to be honest, I felt it probably 3 months in. I was like, man, she it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was like that voice was like, this is her. And I was fighting it like, nah, this ain't her. Because in my mind, I'm not doing this again. And the more we're around and the more it's like, nah, I can't live. I don't think I could live without her. I can't let her get away.
To see her with
I couldn't.
Somebody
No.
else.
I'm like, she's too. It was in that thing to be like, I'm surprised that she ain't with with nobody now.
Yeah.
But it's like, nah, I can't.
And not like what we talked about with couldn't stand seeing her with somebody else. Not because you guys are still together and she's with them. No.
Right.
Sorry, I had to throw that joke.
Right. Nah, it's like. Nah, I couldn't imagine that.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
No.
Couldn't imagine it at all.
Gosh, I'd have to move to a whole different state.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That would be terrible.
Yeah, I think she'd be the first person. If anything was to happen, I would like literally be broke up about. Literally, like, nah, I can't do this.
Is that emotion? Does it come on you sometimes? Like you still get like, dang, I can't believe I feel this way about this person. Like you love them,
right?
But because this is your first time having this experience with someone, are there new revelations of the depths of that love? Because everything is new for you both.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So Is that those new number ones?
It is, because in my past it was this feeling I'm arguments and things like that and be like, I really don't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like during the hard times, to me, it was more identifiable, like of this is the reason why I really don't to begin with.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then when we have disagreements, it's like, nah, I really love you, so it ain't that deep. It's never that deep for us to not talk or not be around, or you know what I mean? So it's still a way we treat one another. Like, you know what I mean? I've never raised my voice at her. Never called her out her name. She's never called me out my name. It's never been anything to where I'm like, you really can talk to me? Because to me, love always has, like, if I really love you, there's certain things I'm never going to do.
Yeah.
Then that just, to me, speaks to my amount of love towards you, right? So it's like, I don't think love has to have a space for me to ever try to raise my hand, ever try to call you out your name.
Right.
Now, I could be mad,
right,
but because I love and respect and we like each other, me liking you is like, nah, I don't
want to do anything that makes me look like I don't like you, or let you think that I don't like you based upon what I did to you.
Exactly. But then vice versa, I expect that, because there's a lot of times we get what we want.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so if I'm going to be the person, I always felt like I was a person kind of, for lack of better words, to walk around wanting to give more, right? I'm a giver. I'm going to give. I'll make sure I'll provide the peace. I'll make sure this is done. I'll make sure. But when it's time for it to get back, it would always fall short, right? So she's not the person that's like making sure she falls short. Like not too long ago, she's like, man, it feels like I need to do more because you were.
It's like we trying to outlove each other almost.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
That's a dope competition.
Yeah, it's like it's
a
like
win-win.
Yeah, she's like, nah, I need to catch up.
Yeah,
because and to hear that, I'm like, that's what's up. Like, I appreciate it.
Yeah,
because you never want to feel like you're the only one trying.
Yeah, for sure.
You never want to feel like that, right? You never want to feel like, when you gone? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But and at the same time,
you felt like that before,
right?
Yeah.
And the challenge shouldn't be like, how do I get you on the same playing field? It's like we're both on the same playing field. Like we may be outdoing each other at the time, or one is not going as fast, but you still know they're there, right? Right. So yeah, that's for me.
Well, I would say this for both. If the size of the ring is any indication of how y'all love them, y'all got a lot of love for them, you know. And you, Pook, I knew something was different when after you had proposed. It was like we'd be on the phone and you would be like, hey, this is wifey. Now y'all, the wedding date is set. Okay, so he's not keeping her in purgatory. But it was how you said, like she'd call and you said, hey man, this wifey, let me call you back. It's like you was happy. Like you was like a little boy, man, that was excited to use that particular word in reference to someone that you genuinely really love with your fiber. I mean, I've been through a couple, you know what I'm saying, seasons with you, and I never heard that like that.
It's never been like that. Like with anybody. It's never been that. Yeah, not at all. Not at all. Yeah.
Okay.
that little boy inside coming out because of excitement.
Yeah.
I know that.
Yeah.
And people around you should be able to just pick up on that. Like, hey,
oh yeah,
you're in love, aren't you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yep.
I know. I mean, you know, and that's okay. That's the way it should be.
Absolutely is.
And my opinion. And so.
Yeah, it's cool for real men to be in love. Huh?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I think it's even cooler to identify what you need and start to receive it. Because as men being givers, I think we can give our way in hopes to get. And then it falls short.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
And then we can make excuses for why it's not. But when it's getting and you're giving and receiving, oh man, it's a wonderful feeling.
No, that's dope.
Wonderful feeling.
Let me ask you both this. It's kind of a fun one. Would you rather have all the money in the world riches untold and be alone, or be flat broke in a relationship with somebody you love and they love you?
Flat broke.
I mean, y'all not gonna even think about it a little bit?
Nah, I mean, money.
Chad,
know.
you can't see Chad, he's shaking his head.
Money can't buy love, man, or happiness.
You're broke though, bro.
Hey, we gonna be broke together. In love. At least I got somebody to be broke with, right? And they love me, and I love them. Now, hey, I've been broke a long time, so
okay,
it's
so,
fine.
Yeah. Not a drop to the bottom, right?
Come
to
on,
the
man.
basement.
No,
okay.
sir. Nah, I'm taking that second one all day, every day.
Chad, you?
Same.
Okay, why?
Just until you've had that love, you don't know what it's worth.
Wow. Yeah. That's good.
So.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yep.
I'm all sentimental and all warm and fuzzy.
Nah, that's good.
So do you think that, okay, so when you find your person and you're in love and all this kind of stuff, what's the ultimate goal? Like, okay, what's the happily ever after for the both of you? Like, what does that look like? Okay, it's new, it's fresh, some people may say, you ain't really been through nothing because it's gonna, whatever. But what is the end goal for you? Is it, two old people sitting on the front porch, with grandkids? Is it, we just doing life together? Like, what does that look like? What's the ultimate goal?
I think for me, finding someone and having someone to accept the challenges of life, us grow together, be together, experiencing them, and still making new memories while we're together. You know what I mean? So it's like the challenges is never too big for either one of us, and we have one another. You know what I mean? So every day can be a new memory created as long as you love each other and on the same page and you're willing to fight. Mm-hmm. The challenges are going to come. Life is going to life to everybody.
Okay.
But as long as I know she loves me and I love her, we can take anything on together. Mm-hmm. That's it. So
yeah, you're a walking postcard. What about you, Chad?
Have somebody to achieve the life goals with.
Okay.
Build something that's more than just, it's not like building a business.
Mm-hmm.
It's building a life. So that's one. Sitting on the front porch, sipping some, I call it American tea because I don't like sweet tea.
Yeah.
So I like unsweet tea.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, people are like, what?
Right. We got it.
Yeah, Georgia sweet tea, that stuff.
Yes.
Southern tea. No,
right.
That ain't your thing.
No,
Okay.
I like the American tea.
Okay.
So,
Oklahoma. It's all good.
Yeah, or a cup of coffee.
Mm-hmm.
To go through life with.
It's crazy
because
y'all mentioning the little things. Y'all ain't saying take over the world and be on private jets and be at the top of Mount St. Helens and y'all saying some
the little things for me that I've shared with you and my mom says now, so my dad is gone. She's like, the cool thing is she's talking to Kim's mom, right?
Your mom.
My mom is. Now, before everybody will know my story, I was getting married to have a mother for my kids, which didn't work. Not for love. Didn't work, right? Mm-hmm. But not marrying and not finding a person to be a mother to my kids, she's like, they love her. Mm. The grandkids love her. Mm. Like it's a genuine love. Like,
they like her more than they like you.
Oh, yeah. Like, I'm on the phone and they calling me, where Mama K at? Where G-Ma? Where G-Ma? Where G-Ma? So they asking about her just as much. And I'm like, I'm right here. You know what I mean? So
liver, what's going on?
But then not for me to want it because I didn't have the expectation.
Yeah.
She has no kids, but she loves them. Like, what are we getting them? Let's do this. Going to pick them up, going to spend time with them. It's like, it's stuff developed outside of me that I don't have to push. I don't have to want it. And my mom is like, nah, you got to see, like, them grandkids, they love her. Mm-hmm. So to me, love can be seen, felt by others than you. When others are seeing it, they're like, nah, man, like that is so cool. So what I wanted and what I was looking for in others and wanted to develop is naturally coming about without me even trying. And that just speaks more to what I feel like this is the right thing to be doing anyway, because it ain't superficial. It ain't us doing a whole lot of other stuff to be seen. It's like all the little stuff at home that makes a home, that makes love, that makes the kids want to be around so much. Like I got grown kids and they, hey, well, Miss Kim, they want to go be around. They want to spend time. They want to see what's going on. They really genuinely love her. So those small things is like, it makes me sit back when I see them interacting and together and all that. I'm just like,
priceless.
This is all I ever wanted.
Priceless, bro.
But I went about it the wrong way. You know what I mean? So it's like those small things. You can take the money. You can take all that because I don't need it. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah, just going back to the little things, but the little things are the consistencies in life. It's not a highlight reel that you're going to look back on and go, man, that was a satisfying life.
Yeah, yeah.
I know everybody wants to think
it's the big stuff.
It's the big stuff, but it's the day in, day out operation. That's the real highlight reel that you're going to cherish because it was like, man, we did all right.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And I don't know. So I can't say it's thinking about the little stuff. I think that is the important stuff.
That's the main meal. You know, so as y'all sitting here and you're talking about your experiences and how blessed you feel, somebody's watching this. There may be a woman watching it, and she's saying, I hear all that, but she's still feeling like, I just don't know if there's any really good men out here. Like, not saying that they think y'all lying, because, I hear all the time, where all the good men at? I hear men say where all the good women at, right?
Yeah.
So why do you think it's so hard for, and they even may hear your story and be like, okay, that's cool for them, but it's hard for them to believe it for themselves. Like, why do you think it's hard for people to believe in what y'all have found?
I think most of the time when I'm giving advice or talking to my friends or my boys that hadn't found it yet, right?
Do they want it?
They do want it.
Okay.
But I think the way they're going about it is like they haven't, it's the simple things of a standard, right? And you can go through life and feel like, what is that standard? What am I doing with myself in order to put myself in position, right? So I have guys like, Poop, man, invite me to, where y'all show at next, man? Because I know it's going to be this. I know it's going to have ladies. I know it ain't the place.
Location, yeah.
It ain't the location where you're going to be at, right? You can be in front of anybody. Are you ready for what you're willing to get or what you want, right? Like, are you ready? You can feel like, I'll get there. But deep inside, there's something that you're not working on enough to be in position to be ready.
And are you what you want?
Are you what you want? Most of the time, we're not. I'll be honest, most of the time we're not.
Mic drop.
Yeah, we're not. We're not what we want. We want something, but it's like people want to be rich. They see, he has a lot of money, but they're not willing to put that work in that he's put in, or sacrifice as much as he sacrificed in order to get what he's gotten. They're just like, well, let me just be at the finished product, right? It's like,
just give me the money.
Yeah, right. You know what I mean?
I want to be like MJ and not go out and shoot free throws for hours upon hours.
Right. Or
you got to put in the work.
You got to put in the work. Or like I, explain to Reed often, this is like, it's everybody don't know a story. You know what I mean? So to have a story and to have the outcome, everybody be like, oh man, I love where he is now. Half of the people couldn't go through that challenge to say, you know what I mean? So it's like, you can see where I am, but it took a lot of work.
For sure.
It took a lot of work to get there. So the people that's there that want it, how much work are they putting in to get it? And I ain't talking about dating apps. I'm talking about like really sitting down, doing the work, right? And I'm not a person that's about to say, well, just go get a therapist. Everybody get a therapist. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that there's more work to be done even outside of that therapist, right? Because a good
sure.
therapist is going to give you homework.
Absolutely.
They're going
Hold
to give you
accountable.
things, you know what I mean, to say,
That's right.
hey, it could be accountability partner
Mm-hmm.
to be like, okay, what have you done today to work on yourself?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So most people don't want that. They just want somebody, put me here, sign me up in front of this, and then I'm good to go.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say that person, there is good people out here. Now, I was definitely telling this dude, like, they don't
exist.
They don't exist, and they all come with some type of problem, which we all do.
Yeah,
we all
for
have
sure.
some, but it's like what you could work with, right?
They're not deal breakers. By
Nah, they're
any
not.
stretch
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
imagination.
yeah.
You know?
Because I was supposed to be, I was dead set in out of country stuff. You know what I mean? So
Dominican.
I was, you know what I mean? Colombia stuff was, I was just gonna fly around, and that was my thing.
Enjoy life. Yeah.
Enjoy life in other countries and be okay, and not really have that, because it's like that don't exist until you're like, yeah, and then stop looking for it.
Oh, see, you done started a whole nother podcast.
Stop looking for it. You know what I mean? Like
how they supposed to not look for it when they want it?
Start working on you. Start going.
Boring.
It is. It's a boring way, right? But I tell you what, keep doing what you've been doing and see how that works out.
It reminds me of, they said that building wealth can seem boring.
Yeah.
Because it's the basics. You know what I mean? And I want the flashy crypto or whatever the new shiny thing is
that everybody's getting rich on.
It's not tried and true.
Right.
But it's the fundamentals that seem boring that get you really to where you want to be.
Absolutely. He knows I did. When I say I ran dead smack into, like, I was not, wall. Yeah. I was not looking.
Yeah, nah, you wasn't.
I had stopped. I wasn't even, you couldn't turn an application. It wasn't, I'm good.
We're not accepting no more.
Nah, like, I'm cool. If you start talking about marriage, and cool, I don't care how nice you are, I'm good. I'm not at all. So when you stop looking and think you're just gonna, I believe it'll happen.
Things can definitely happen, but putting yourself in the right positions by doing the right things consistently, that's how opportunity comes about.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
And where are you looking at, and what are you looking at?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, those are a couple of things that I think kind of go in
hand
with
sure.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Is like the location. Going, like I said, you go meet some people at B-dubs and have a beer and some wings with them, and you just strike up a conversation with somebody that's maybe a mutual acquaintance somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
But you were going to go out with some friends, but you're not going to the bar, and you're trying to drown your sorrows with somebody that's drowning their sorrows, and then all of a sudden you're going to find this happily ever after romance.
Don't work like that.
Nah, I don't.
Why do you think, Chad, that it's such a disbelief that it exists?
There's a lot of bitterness, but there's also a lot of lack of accountability towards oneself for the choices that they've made.
Mm.
And then whenever you have to look at yourself in the mirror and say, good job, it's your consequence.
Taking ownership for
accountability,
your choices. Yeah. That's a hard conversation to look in that mirror.
It is.
It can be painful.
Yeah, for a man or woman.
Yeah. But it needs to be, though.
Yeah.
That way, if you can't be real to yourself, how can you be real to another human being?
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, we're talking about vulnerability. Okay. It starts with you.
Yeah.
Be vulnerable with yourself and say it's okay.
Yeah.
But just do something about it going forward.
Yeah.
Make those baby steps.
Yeah.
Rome wasn't built in a day.
So let me say this to y'all as we put our clothes back on after being totally buck naked out here. Hey, y'all got it raw, uncut. This level of vulnerability with men just sitting around chopping it up. I don't know if you're going to hear it in the barbershop, in the locker room, maybe not in the same way. But it needs to be heard. And so we always want to create a platform where it can be heard. That's why it's called Heart of the Matter. And I love that we get the comments on the videos that encourage us, you know.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love this level of vulnerability. I
Yeah.
love these conversations. Please keep going. And that's one of the reasons why we do keep doing it. Chad, man, thank you for coming back, always opening your heart. And I, even doing this, I still don't think you could talk probably 1,000, you know, podcasts, and I don't think they would understand how big your heart is, you know. And I know you get all weird with all the compliments. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? You're just a dope human being, man. And when you are that way, we should give flowers when we can smell them.
Absolutely.
I don't want to be snotting at a funeral. He was so good. No. I'll snot now and snot then too. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to say I appreciate you, man, from the bottom of my heart. Pook, I'll never get that emotional and vulnerable with you. So I'm not going to say any of that on camera because I'm not.
Right.
Appreciate y'all hanging out. Thank you so much. See y'all next time. Who knows? Maybe a part 3. Y'all take care. Peace.